place. It's weird. Strange. Okay, here we go. He used to say, "You are not required to complete the task, yet you are not free to withdraw from it. If you have studied much Torah, they give you great reward, and your employer can rely upon you to pay the wage of your labor. But be aware that the reward of the righteous will be given in the world to come." Kakavi ben Mahalo says, "Consider three things, and you will not come into the group of sin. Know whence you came, whether you go, and before whom you are destined to give judgment and accounting. Whence you came from a future drop, whether you go to a place of dust worms, and before whom you are destined to give judgment and accounting, before the King who reigns over kings, the Holy One, blessed is He." Now, Kanina, the deputy Kohen Gadol, says, "Pray for the welfare of the government, because if people did not fear it, a person would swallow his fellow alive." But Kanina ben Trajan says, "When two people are sitting together and there are no words of Torah between them, this is a session of scorners. As it is stated in the session of scorners, he did not sit, but two who are sitting together and there are words of Torah between them, the divine presence dwells between them. As it is stated, then those who fear Hashem spoke to each other, and Hashem listened and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for those who fear Hashem and give thought to his name. I only know two. From where do we know that even one person who sits and occupies himself with Torah, that the Holy One, blessed is He, determines a reward for him? As it is stated, let one sit in solitude and whisper, for it is taken a reward for it.
Okay. So keeping in the same subject, but jumping a couple of generations, we now come to Rabbi Shimon, who, when stated time, is Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Okay, if three people sat down to a Suda and they didn't say any divrei Torah during the Suda, at the end of the Suda,
Right.
on the Lashon that it's a she'achlu, not she'ochlim, that they have already eaten. You're supposed to say your divrei Torah after the meal, not during the meal, because during the meal you're supposed to just keep quiet and eat. Although they didn't meet contemporary contemporary life. I don't know anyone who does that now. If they haven't said, if they don't say divrei Torah on their meal, it's like they ate from the sacrifices to the dead. In other words, avodah zarah. It's like all tables are full of vomit and filth, without mentioning Hashem. If Hashem is not there, then what you're doing, you're just filling yourself up for no good reason. But conversely, if three people did say divrei Torah on their meal, then that elevates their whole meal and turns it into a spiritual pursuit. It's as if they ate from Hashem's table. This is and he spoke to me saying this is the table that is before Hashem. So, good thing to say divrei Torah at your meal. Mishna Daled, Rabbi Hanania ben Chachinai. So Rabbi Hanania ben Chachinai was one of the primary students of Rabbi Akiva, and he was he knew how to teach like every subject, whether revealed or hidden, Maseh Merkava, and he's one of those who's mentioned in Eile Ezkara as one of the 10 martyrs. He says, Haner Balayla, if somebody is awake at night, or he's walking, he's traveling alone. So what we should read over here is that in either of these two cases, and he wastes his time, he's like just focusing on other things instead of taking the opportunity to think of divrei Torah, or to say over divrei Torah. He is liable for his life, because in these cases he could either it's the nighttime is a time of danger, and the traveling is a time of danger, and the Torah would have protected him, or it's just simply an opportune time when you've got the opportunity and there's nothing else distracting you. You're just sitting in your carriage and letting the horses take you. This is what else you're going to do. It's a good time to sit and learn Torah. And if you don't, it's that's considered like you've wasted your time. And he's ad kedei kach that he says that you're liable for your life. Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana. Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana was again jumping back a couple of generations. He was in the generation of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and he was the Rebbe of Rabbi Shmuel. And he merited to have a very long life. And when his Talmidim asked him, how did you merit this? He said, because I never took any gain or pride from when somebody else became disgraced. Basically, he never got ahead at the expense of other people. And he used to be very easy to spend his money for other people's needs. And there's a statement here that the curse of my, let me see how they translated this in my version. Give me a sec. Nor has the curse of my fellow man ever gone up with me upon my bed. Now I'm not sure what that actually means, but he's also mentioned in Masechus Brachos as saying a short prayer on entering the Beis Midrash and upon leaving. It says, right? Remember, he says, on entering, I pray that no mishap should happen through me, and on leaving, I give thanks for my lot that I'm with those who study the Torah. Anyway, what does he say in Pirkei Avos? He says, Kol makabel alav all Torah. If somebody accepts upon himself the yoke of Torah, mavirin mimenu all malchus for all derech eretz, then they will take away from him the burden of having to deal with a malchus and having to deal with making a parnasa, because other people should support him. And somebody who takes off the yoke of Torah, nosnim alav all malchus for all derech eretz, and he will be burdened with having to deal with the authorities and with the stress of making a living. That's a difficult one. I mean, maybe I don't know what his bar is for somebody who takes on the all of Torah, because Anan Sahadi, that we have many Talmidei Chachamim who have taken on the all Torah, and yet they still have the all of Derech Eretz very hard on them.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what he is referring to. Maybe it's a different level of what kind of person can take on the all of Torah. Okay. Aleph Yud Gimel.
That's where I went before. He used to say, if one becomes renowned, he will eventually lose his renown, and he who does not increase will decrease. And one who did not learn is liable to death, and one who makes sense use of the crown will pass away. He used to say, if I am not for myself, who is for me? And if I am for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Shammai says, make your Torah study fixed. Say little, do much, and receive every person with a pleasant countenance.
Yeah. Idios. Daled Yud Aleph.
If someone declared a Nazaris of long duration, completed his term of Nazaris, and then came into the Holy Land, Beit Shammai says he must be a Nazir for 30 days. But Beit Hillel says he must be a Nazir from the beginning. Someone about whom two groups of right witnesses were testifying. These testified that he declared 2 terms of Nazaris, and these testified that he declared 5 terms of Nazaris. Beit Shammai says the testimony is split, and there is no Nazaris here. But Beit Hillel says 2 is included in 5, so he is a Nazir for 2 terms. I don't remember who it was. It was Queen something, that she came from another country with his children or something, and she had a Nazaris, and she was finished, and they said to her, right. They said that, you have to do it from the beginning again. It's the whole thing. If a person is lying under a gap, Beit Shammai said he does not spread tuba, but Beit Hillel says a person is hollow, and thus the upper side of his body does spread tuba. Okay, one more.
Yeah.
But Yehuda says 6 matters are among the lenient decisions of Beis Shammai and the stringent decisions of Beis Hillel. The blood of the Velos, Beis Shammai rule that is tahor, while Beis Hillel rule that it is tameh. An egg found in an avela, if there are similar eggs to this one being sold in the market, is permitted. But if not, it is forbidden according to the words of Beis Shammai. However, Beis Hillel forbid it. But Beis Shammai conceded that the egg of a terefa is forbidden because it developed in a forbidden state. Uterine blood of a Gentile woman and tahor blood of a Mitzoris after childbirth. Beis Shammai is both tahor. Beis Hillel says her blood is like that, like spittle, and like her urine. All right. And sorry,
hold on. There's more in that Mishnah.
Right. All right. I turned the wrong page. Like urine. One may eat Shemitah produce with gratitude or without gratitude, according to the words of Beis Shammai. But Beis Hillel says one may not eat those without gratitude. A leather jug, Beis Shammai says if it remains closed, but Beis Hillel says even though it does not remain closed.
Okay.
Yeah, on to Sebastian. Okay, dollar base. He has not sold the split pit. He has not sold the split pit nor the cistern, even if he wrote in the contract the depth and the height. He must buy back for himself a right of way. These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. But the sages, however, say he need not buy back a right of way. Rabbi Akiva, however, agrees that when he said to him, except for these, he need not buy back for himself a right of way. If he has sold them to another, Rabbi Akiva says he need not buy back a right of way. But the Kekaman say, however, he must buy back a right of way. One who sells a house has sold the door, but not the key. He has sold the fixed mortar, but not the portable one. He has sold the pestle of the mill, but not the flour catch, nor the oven, nor the stove. When he said to him, in all that is in it, they are all sold. One who sells a courtyard has sold the houses, pits, the ditches, and bolts, but not the movables. When he said to him, it and all that is in it, they are all sold. In any case, he has not sold the bathhouse or the olive press, which are in it. But Eliezer says, one who sells a courtyard is not sold, who sold only the airspace of the courtyard. Okay. We have Avos. Okay. Yud Aleph Bet. If a woman's sons are converted with her, they were formed.
Hold on a second. We will go to Aleph. You're on base. Yeah, Aleph.
A woman may marry the relatives of the woman he raped or seduced. If he rapes or seduces her relatives after he married her, he is liable. A man may marry the woman raped or seduced by his father, or the woman raped or seduced by his son. Rabbi Yehuda prohibits the woman raped and seduced by his father. If a woman's sons converted with her, they perform neither chalitza nor yibum, even though if the first was not conceived in sanctity, but was born in sanctity, and the second was conceived and born in sanctity. So too in the case of a slave woman whose sons were emancipated with her. If the babies of 5 women became confused with one another and they grew to adulthood and married and died, 4 perform chalitza with one widow, and 1 may perform even with her. He and 3 others perform chalitza with another widow, and 1 may perform even with her. Thus, 4 chalitzos and 1 yibum are performed for each widow. If a woman's baby,
that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Shvius.
Seventh year may be used for food, drink, and
anointing.
Yeah, I know. To eat what is normally eaten, to use as ugund, which is normally used as ungund. I can't get this word today.
Ungund.
Ungund. One may not use wine and vinegar as ungund, but may use oil as ungund. Likewise, with truma and ma'aser sheni, the 7th year is less stringent in that it may be used for kindling lights. One may not sell 7th year produce by measure, weight, or number, nor figs by number, or vegetables by weight. Beit Shammai say also not in bundles. Beit Hillel says that which is usually used tied in bundles in the home may be tied up in bundles in the market, such as leeks and milkweed. And if one says to a laborer, here is an issa for you, and gather vegetables for me today, his payment is permitted. Gather me for vegetables for today, his payment is forbidden. If one took from the baker a loaf worth of punyan, when I have gathered field vegetables I shall bring you, it is permitted. If he took from him without making any comment, he may from the proceeds of the 7th year, since one may not sell a debtor with 7th year produce.
Right.
What?
Caleb.
And here we go. Okay. Up high and low. These are measured double: a shoe, knee, breeches, pants, a hat, and a hollow belt. Regarding a patch that is attached to the border, border, if it is unfolded, it is measured. While it is unfolded, it's doubled. It is measured while it is doubled. If a piece of cloth that was woven to the size of 3 handbreadths by 3 handbreadths contracted midges tuma, and subsequently when finished the whole piece of cloth, and afterward one thread was removed from the original piece of cloth, it becomes tower from midges tuma, but it is tame due to contact with midras. If one thread was removed from the original cloth and subsequently one finished the whole piece of cloth, it is tame due to contact with midges tuma. Similarly, if a piece of cloth that was woven on the size of 3 finger breadths by 3 finger breadths contracted corpse tuma, and subsequently one finished the whole piece of cloth, and afterward one thread was removed from the original cloth, it becomes tower from corpse tuma, but it is tame due to contact with a mace. If one was removed from the original cloth and subsequently when finished the whole piece of cloth, it is tahor. Because the common said if a piece measuring 3 finger breadths by 3 finger breadths is lessened to a tahor, but if a piece measuring 3 handbreadths by 3 handbreadths is lessened, even though it is not susceptible to midges tuma, it is still susceptible to all other forms of tuma.
Okay.
Concerning,
that's it. We're done for the
That's
day. Oh, I think so. Did I get yeah, that's it.
have a great day. Enjoy.
Yeah, good night.
And I will probably go to second meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.